I would imagine, is you look at the team, and the team is personified in the Lions case by the head coach, and Dan Campbell is an intense but also cool dude. So give me a sense, if you could, of if you had to explain to an outsider what's the culture like, and how has Coach Campbell been able to will his team into relevance again.
No, it's a great story because when he took the job, when he got the job, and he talked about biting kneecaps in his opening press conference, everybody laughed and went, "Oh my God, SOL," as it's known in this town, same old Lions. They've hired a meathead soundbite machine. He won't know what he's doing. Biting kneecaps. This is embarrassing. And you went from a coach that the fan base despised in Matt Patricia to a guy that was talking about biting kneecaps, and you weren't just sure if this is just another spoke in the wheel or whatever, in terms of laughing stocks. And what he has done is he has found the right magic with, first of all, he hired really good coaches around him. And you put good people around you, and you put your ego aside, and you let these assistants do their thing, whether it was Aaron Glenn on the defensive side, Ben Johnson on the offensive side. It was really refreshing to see a guy that put his ego aside as the head man to allow his coaches to coach. And he had an amazing staff that year, again, that they went to the NFC Championship game in 2023 and were 30 minutes away from winning that game. You had great assistants. You had Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn, Hank Fraley, Antoine Randall L. The list goes on and on of just really popular assistants. A lot of them have moved on to higher positions with other teams. So it goes to show that, wow, teams are actually poaching coaches and front office personnel from the Lions. That never happened, ever. There was always that running joke here that once a Lions head coach left, they would never be a head coach again. And that remains to this day. I know it was a little close earlier this year when Jim Schwartz, the former head coach here, nearly got the Browns head coaching job, but that didn't happen. So the streak continues. With that being said, what Campbell has done, Dave, he's mixed the meathead former player thing with smarts and trust and putting his guys in the right position, veteran leadership, letting Jared Goff do his thing, Penei Sewell, for years Taylor Decker, who's not going to be back with the team this year, but and the guys trust him, and it is refreshing. And he had to make some tough decisions his first year and this past year, replacing the offensive coordinator midseason and taking over the play calling duties. But yet those coaches stayed on for the rest of the year, which is a testament to him. And so it's worked out. Like I said, this past year to go 9-8 and finish in last place and not make the playoffs was a massive disappointment. But yet people realize they still trust this man and his speech and his voice, that they'll get it back and turn it around this year.
Speaking of turnarounds, what about the Pistons? What about their shot in the postseason?
Well, it all hinges on Cade Cunningham's health. Like I said, I was around the team for 11 years, and I always go by coaches in terms of how I count. When we started doing the pre- and post-game shows on WDFN, we got the rights to the team. It was Rick Carlisle for 2 years, Larry Brown for 2, Flip Saunders for 3, Michael Curry for 1, John Kuester for 2, and Lawrence Frank for 2. And so they went through a lot of coaches, but they won. Flip won. Larry Brown obviously won it all. Rick Carlisle won Coach of the Year in 01-02 and did maybe the best coaching job I've ever seen a coach do, until Kurt Signetti hit Indiana. Obviously, that's the best. But Pistons are really they're holding their breath that Cade Cunningham's collapsed lung will be fixed. I don't really know what the terminology is there. I'm no doctor, David, but he's awesome and an MVP candidate. So it's cool to see the Pistons relevant again. Again, front office and coach, Trajan Langdon, JB Bickerstaff, just aligned, total pros. And Pistons went through a rough patch with, after Joe Dumars left, GM and coach combos. It just was not working out. But they've done great, and now it's a matter of if Cade is healthy, can they make a run in the East? Of course. And it's exciting to be a Pistons fan again.